Hello and welcome to Bearded Pens. My name's John Ferranti, and today I'm going to be talking about the Lamy 2000. And if you want any sort of, technical information about this pen, weight, specific lengths, that sort of thing, there's many people on the internet which will go into that for you. But in this video, I'm going to be talking about what it's like to actually live with this pen. I've been using this hard for about going on 6 years now. And so I have a lot of experiences with this pen that maybe other people, might not have. And so I really want to talk about those experiences with you. This was the first pen that I purchased that was kind of a nicer pen. Before this, I had my Lamy Safari. And, I loved writing with this pen. It's what got me into fountain pens. I wanted to step up. So I went with the brand that I knew, which is Lamy. I had the two things I was looking for. It had a gold nib and a piston filling system. There's two things I could not live without. And of course, at the time, I really had a bias against plastic pens or like resin pens. I associated weight with quality, which was foolish of me. But so I ended up settling on the Lamy 2000. And it has a macrolon construction, which is kind of this fiber composite, actually more of like a fiberglass construction. It has a little bit of weight to it without being too heavy. You're certainly not going to get hand fatigue. And, the fittings, with the exclusion of the end cap, are made out of metal. So that really got me going. As far as this is a pen that I really want to write with. It's a quality pen, And so I'm going to switch now to the overhead view so I can get a bit closer up to it. So as I said, macrolon construction, metal fittings, gold nib. It is a hooded nib, and you have the breather hole, or it might just be really a filling hole on the bottom here. So you need to submerge that to be able to fill it. The pen separates at this dividing line here. So you can twist that apart and remove it. And you can twist this end bit here completely off and remove the piston. And that's how you'd really go about doing a thorough cleaning on this pen. It has a slip cap, or a spring cap, whatever you'd really like to call this. And it has a springed hinge as well. Now, the fit and finish, or as far as the finish of this clip here, it's more of a stone wash compared to the grip here follows with the grain of the macrolon. And speaking of this section here, it's not going to dictate where you hold the pen because it's a perfectly even taper. And I guess I can go ahead and go through a writing example here. And of course that goes on as, do some loop-de-loops. Now, this pen does, as you can see, it's plenty wet, and it's certainly not gonna run out of ink as far as quick writing is concerned. But I do wish it was a bit wetter. And oh wow, we did get some railroading, but of course I'm pushing this pen, the nib, way past its comfort zone after doing some quick writing. And so you can get some line variation out of it. I get now the feed has had some time to recover. But this isn't going to give you a whole lot of character in your handwriting. It's just not what this is really designed for. So you can see not a whole lot of a flex going on there. Now, this nib has a very narrow sweet spot to it. A lot of people are turned off by that, understandably so. Being an amateur, when I originally purchased this pen, it took me a good week to understand how to write with it to find that sweet spot. Now, once you've found that sweet spot, this is a pleasurable nib to write with. It's not scratchy. It does have a decent amount of feedback though. This is not a buttery smooth nib. This is a nib where you are going to feel the paper with. And I guess now I could kind of compare this even to the Pilot Custom Heritage 92. You know, they're both piston fillers. One's Japanese, one is German. And they're both very similar as far as their size is concerned. And I don't think the weight is too far off either. But with the Custom Heritage 92, this is a juicy wet nib. And also, it's about one of the smoothest nibs I've ever written with. It really is. It's a joy. You're not going to get that kind of writing experience with the Lamy 2000 because in my experience, Lamy, their goal isn't to produce super buttery smooth nibs. What their game is how to produce a nib that is smooth enough but is going to give you that feeling of the paper as you write. And personally, I enjoy it. I almost enjoy writing with the Lamy Safari a little bit more. I know that's terrible, and you might be thinking, why am I going to spend the extra money? It's because I think we all enjoy getting different writing experiences out of our pens. And just because these two pens write differently, and maybe I enjoy this in some situations, doesn't mean that I'm not going to enjoy this in others. Still, when I'm writing, a long letter, I will go to my Lamy 2000. I just will. So price. The price of this pen varies depending on where you actually go about finding it. And I believe I was able to pick up this pen for around $100. Other places I think, can range up to like $150 or so. And I think that is a fantastic price for this pen. It certainly makes it accessible to a lot of people. This isn't a $500+ pen, although they could certainly try to charge that because of the design history that has gone into this pen. So, now that we have that established, quality control. A lot of people have a lot to say about quality control on the Lamy 2000s. What I'd like to say is this. I don't think that there's any quality control issues. I've written with a few other Lamy, 2000s, and the nibs have been they write almost exactly the same. And on this pen itself, I've gone through two nibs. Within the first 2 years of owning it, it ended up rolling off my desk and falling nib down. And in that, I was able to experience Lamy's, at least their American service situation. And they were able to service this pen domestically. I believe it took around a month, which I think is plenty fast. And when I got it back, it came with a handwritten letter of what was done to the pen by the person that serviced it. That was not something that I was expecting from a company this large. That's absolutely incredible. I didn't have to send it to Germany in a handwritten letter. It's details like that make it all the more worth it for me to buy a Lamy. So overall, I don't know if I could suggest this pen to someone that is just starting out. Certainly you can, but the Pilot Custom Heritage 92 might be a better option for you because if you're not used to writing with a fountain pen, it's going to take you a bit longer to find that sweet spot. So if we switch to the close-up view now, we have the Lamy 2000, we have the Pilot Custom Heritage 92, and some people also consider the Pilot Vanishing Point to be in a similar category. I would not suggest the Pilot Vanishing Point if you're just starting out. However, if you need the absolute quickest draw for on a note-taking pen. There's nothing faster than this. Although the clip placement, it doesn't bother me a whole lot, but this isn't a pen that I'm going to write an essay with or pages upon pages. Because while this doesn't bother me, it it's just an odd, it's so odd having the clip be a part of the grip. And also, this pen costs quite a bit more than these two. This pen is kind of more, in the $200. It's hard to say really, because of if you get this from someone that has imported it correctly, it's going to cost a bit more than if you go on eBay or to some sellers on Amazon and pick this up. So I'm going to exclude this for now. So we have these two pens, and as you can tell, so close in the lengths. And I think that's why it becomes even harder to pick between these pens. It really does. Now, they're both piston fillers. They both have gold nibs. Their widths are similar. But the materials are very different. Of course, this is semi-transparent. This is, opaque. It's made out of Macrolon. So if you're starting out with this, I would get the Pilot Custom Heritage 92, or if you're wanting a pen that you're going to get the absolute smoothest writing experience out of, I'd go with the Pilot Custom Heritage 92. If you're looking for a pen that has pleasurable and consistent feedback, it isn't going to be the smoothest thing in the world, I would suggest the Lamy 2000, because that's really what you're going to get it with. In any case, these are two amazing piston filler pens. So that's really all I have to say about these pens, and more specifically the Lamy 2000. So go ahead and make sure to like, comment, share, all that sort of stuff down below. And until next time, I hope to see you again.